The Philippines will soon build a military base on Pag-asa Island in South China Sea. An Australian defense and security expert has suggested that the Philippines build a military base on Pag-asa, an island situated on the disputed Spratly archipelago. Carlisle Thayer, a professor emeritus at the University of New South Wales and the Australian Defence Force Academy, said that opening a military base on the island would be a major demonstration of the country's sovereignty over the region. It could also send a strong message to China, which claims all islands on the archipelago. Internationally known as Thitu, the Pag-asa Island is located 277 miles, 445 kilometers, from western city of Puerto Princesa, and is a home to more than 400 Filipinos. It is also 30 kilometers, 18.6 miles, away from China's military base in an artificial island in Subi Reef. Apart from building a military base on Pag-asa, Thayer also said that Philippine President Ferdinand Marcos Jr. should strengthen the country's military cooperation with Australia and Japan. Both Canberra and Tokyo view Beijing's actions on the contested South China Sea as unacceptable. Bolstering cooperation with other countries is provocative to China because it threatens its illegal occupation in the region, the professor said. Earlier this year, Marcos issued a decision that allows the U.S. to access 4 more military bases in the Philippines as part of the 2014 Enhanced Defense Cooperation Agreement. Meanwhile, U.S. satellite imagery reveals the presence of artificial islands in the region, which may have been caused by a Chinese ship equipped with a hydraulic excavator in the region in recent years. This material was referred to as totally devoid of any foundation by the Chinese Ministry of Foreign Affairs. Any encroachment on the West Philippine Sea and any development of unoccupied lands, there poses a threat to the security of Pag-asa Island, emphasized the Philippine Department of National Defense. In June, the Philippines government inaugurated a new beaching ramp on Pag-asa Island, paving the door for future construction projects on the country's primary outpost in the West Philippine Sea. Chinese militia warships loomed over the horizon as Defense Secretary Philippines and the military's top brass visited the island to officially launch the new dock. The Department of Foreign Affairs, DFA, said that the Philippines had submitted a note verbale to China in response to the incident in Pag-asa Island in the West Philippine Sea. The letter verbale was issued on Wednesday after a Chinese Coast Guard ship captured Philippine Navy missile debris. According to the Philippine military, the Philippine Navy was reportedly towing suspected rocket debris to Pag-asa Island last year, when the Chinese Coast Guard intercepted the boat and forcibly retrieved the debris. Residents in Pag-asa heard a string of explosions after the reported event of forcible retrieval. According to a statement by local authorities, the repetitive sounds were believed to have originated from artillery guns/weapons on Chinese-held Zamora, Subi Reef, the largest of 7 man-made islands constructed by Beijing in the Spratly Islands, some 26 kilometers distant. The Chinese embassy in Manila, however, denied the existence of a forced retrieval. It was also mentioned that a friendly consultation occurred. Beijing has staked a claim to practically the entirety of the maritime route, which yearly transports commercial items worth billions of dollars. China is ignoring a judgment by a United Nations tribunal in 2012 that found its claims to be without foundation. Additionally, Taiwan and several nations that are members of ASEAN, including the Philippines, Vietnam, Malaysia, and Brunei, have territorial claims to the waters that are in dispute. Manila makes frequent accusations that Chinese ships and coast guards obstruct the movement of Philippine fishing boats and other vessels. China has occupied at least 7 islands and reefs that make up the Spratly archipelago, and the country has constructed airstrips, ports, and radar systems on those lands. The Philippine Department of National Defense said the armed forces had been ordered to increase the country's presence in the West Philippine Sea due to detected Chinese activity near Pag-asa Island, one of the islands in the disputed Spratly archipelago. It did not specify the nature of the Chinese activity.